LA's on fire. 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 LA is on fire. LA is on fire. LA is on fire.
And yes, welcome everybody. Here we are, Espresso Sesh episode 128. It's a nice day in San Francisco. We have the pleasure to have Nick Andre here in the studio. Welcome, Nick.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Music producer, musician, and mostly, music producer, co-founder of a record label.
Yeah, Slept on Records.
Slept on Record.
Started that with E to Boss from Myron and E and the Pendletons, way before he had those groups, though.
Okay.
And we've been slightly releasing things here and there, but I'm using it again a lot more. We both got signed to different labels, so we stopped doing it. But originally it was an outlet for us to release music with our friends because we didn't know how to send things to a label or get anyone else to do it. So
or maybe getting attention from the label, because label get lots of unsolicited material. So
yeah, this was a different time. I mean, this was early 2000s when we started doing it, I think. And it was before, I don't even know if we probably barely had email accounts going on at this time. So it was more of a handing burnt CDs off to someone when you saw them in person type
or
of
like the
situation.
snail mail thing.
Yeah, totally. Drop it in a package and you never know what happens if anyone got it or not.
So this make you, so you're a you're a veteran in the San Francisco scene, but you are mostly like not on the spotlight being a music producer. So you stay like behind the deck. You make the music happen and give it to, you have a lot of collaboration in this year. You just mentioned E the Boss, but also you've been collaborating with many artists.
Yeah, lately, the last couple years, I've been doing a lot of hip hop again. I've been doing a ton of work with Lateef, the True Speaker from Lateef. Been working with Gab from Black Alicious, and I did some stuff on the last couple Zion I projects, and we're working on some new stuff that I'm pretty stoked on. There's a bunch of people. Picasso from Living Legends, who's one of my favorites and doesn't put music out enough, I don't think. So trying to get some new stuff with him. Also, Hani El Khatib, who was on that last song, a good friend of mine, but he's a rock and roll artist who lives in LA. So you wouldn't typically hear him on a rap album, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though he's collaborated with the Jizza and stuff like that and Freddie Gibbs, but it's kind of across the board. I like all kinds of stuff and try to melt it as much as I can.
Yeah, but we were talking about that right before we went on the air. No, it's not like, I mean, you put your music influence in your music, so it's not just like strictly like classic one genre. No,
yeah,
elements that.
I mean, like that last song. I don't know what that would be even considered.
Yeah, I mean, it's a genre.
It's some weird shit that is cool and I enjoyed making it. I don't think it's a conscious thing that I try to do that. It's just I try to make whatever I feel like sounds cool at the moment when I'm making it, and I'll share it with other people and see if anyone wants to do something with it. And if they do, cool. If not, I'll make something else and put that one in a folder.
Cool. You just unleash your creativity and like let it go. No.
Yeah, I mean, if I feel like it's cool, then I'm confident enough to give it to people, and I don't care if somebody else hates it or whatever. I mean, I'm always open for feedback and criticism, and that's what makes things better, I think.
Definitely, for sure. Yeah, creative feedback, like criticism, like feedback is always good, no? Like constructive criticism.
I mean, even whenever you're putting things out there in the world, there's always going to be positive and negatives that come back to you, and that's a hard part sometimes about putting something out that you feel really passionate about, is other people won't like it, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah. You just make it and
Yeah, just put it out there and
put it out there
see what
and
happens.
see what happens.
Make something else.
So this single we just aired came out last week,
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th,
Yep.
with 2 singles.
2 singles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we just play one. LA's on Fire. There is another one.
Yeah,
Dance.
that one was LA's on Fire, and it had Rob Sonic, who has another project with Aesop Rock called Hell Mary Malin, and it also had Hani El Khatib, who I'd mentioned before, and then there's a second one called Guns that has Lateef, the true speaker from Lateef, on it, and Hani's on that as well.
Let's play this right now, okay?
Cool.
Nick Andre, Guns.
Will the guns come out, out, out? Will the guns come out and play today? Will the guns come out, out, out? Will the guns come out, out, out? Will the guns come out, out, out? Will the guns come out and play today? Will the guns come?
Target painted on my back ever since I was born black, Puerto Rican and whatnot. The system taught that white is good and black is bad, and black and white is still too bad. And everything in between, she scattered at 4 winds and utter subservience. You're getting your ass kicked. The law ain't gonna do shit, your murderer will skip. In fact, I'll go farther, the fuckers a big richer. Thanks to all the racist donations on Kickstarter. They seen the blueprint, now it's hey, good evening, it's open season. On any community's men, and they show the unity in the evil doings within a broken justice system that shows a criminal intent that's based on the class and color of the skin, and that's the way that it's been since way back when. And since its invention, the system's been inching towards more repression and some justification for the out-and-out assault and domestic terrorism. Not only on grown men, it extends to the women and even the children slain at the gun barrels, and by the very same people sworn to protect them, shot in the back again and 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 again.
Will the guns come out, out, out? Will the guns come out, out, out? Will the guns come out and play today? Will the guns come? Will the guns come? Guns come out, out, out? Will the guns come? Guns come out, out? Will the play today? Will the guns come out, out, out? Will the out, out, out? Will the guns come out, out, out? Will the guns come out and play today? Will the guns come out, out, out? Will the guns come out, out, out? Will the guns come out, out, out? Will the guns come out and play today? Will the guns come?
And that was the single Guns. Lateef, the truth speaker, and Daniel Khatib.
Yep.
Yeah, just fresh singles, just released. You are working on a couple of singles to release this year, no? Throughout
Yeah, I'm
the
going
year.
to do a series of these. I'm going to try to do one every month and a half, see how quickly I can get them out there.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to continue to do 2 at a time with different featured artists on each ones throughout the end of the year. And then see where I'm at with everything at that point and possibly put out a full length or an EP first part of next year is the plan. That could change at any time.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a plan, yes.
Yeah.
And this is coming after like almost 20 years of, music production and beat.
Yeah, probably
The-
like 16 years or something
Okay.
since I first did this. The first half of it, I don't think I knew what I was doing. I was just trying to figure it out. And then I took a break from production because I was touring with some bands. I did a indie pop kind of project with my friend Matt Shaw, who I grew up with. That was called City Light. And we did some touring with Her Space Holiday that we both also played in. So when we do those tours, we were playing twice every night. We'd do our project and then
And the other
play with
one.
the headlining band
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. And then after that, I started playing in my friend Allison's band, who's from San Francisco. Her band is, and it's called Dirty Ghost. Toured with her for a couple years. And then once I stopped doing that, I really just wanted to do something I could do by myself again and that was fun. And I started making beats again and reached out to some of the people I'd worked with. And I've been doing that the last 5 years now, leading up to this point. Most of it was for other people's records, and now I have this collection of stuff that I'm pretty stoked on, and that's what I'll be putting out throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, you know, it's nice to have a producer, music producer here, because it's completely another work, another position comparing to somebody who is on the spotlight, and you know, like, so you are like kind of hidden.
Yeah,
behind
I like it that way. I mean, like I was talking to you about earlier, it's performing is fun, but there's so much work that goes into it. I mean, rehearsing, learning everything, playing with other people. And it's rad, and it's super fun to build up to that moment when you play on stage in front of people, and it's a rush. But it's also super cool to be able to sit at home, make this stuff, work with other people, and go to the Fillmore and be hanging out in the crowd drinking a beer and watch Lateef and Black Alicious perform Guns. And I didn't have to do anything except make it and send it to them, and I get to watch them do it. It's pretty rad.
Cool. I mean, there are other people that enjoy like this, like to be on stage with them, no? But you know, it's another.
Yeah, I mean,
it's another position. Let's say.
I like both, and I'm lucky enough to have experienced both. And I would still tour if the opportunity was right, but I'm too tired to do the travel across country and sleep on friends' couch thing. You know, if there was a tour that had everything put together right, and there was the guarantees were good enough to where everyone was taken care of the whole time and it was comfortable, sure.
like a bad mattress,
yeah,
like a real bad, or like you said before, that tour you did, you were in 2 acts, so you were playing double each night.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I guess you burn out, because you know, like,
I mean, that was like
it's a double tour, you know,
3 or
one.
4 week tour too, and I've seen video footage of just pulling up to rest stops of us that people found on their phones or whatever, and I think halfway through I was just a zombie and probably the most unhealthy I'd ever been in my life, eating fast food, drinking tons of booze every night, and then waking up super early to drive somewhere in the blazing hot sun of middle America. It was fun, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's something.
It was an experience, I'll put it that way.
Yeah. And now you live a completely different life, no? Like working off your studio and, you know, like more like...
Yeah, I just work from home, and I get to work with a lot of different people, which is super fun. And I'm fans of everybody that I get to work with, which is a plus. And I also do scoring work, which is something new to me. Me and Matt from Conrad the Band and the old band City Light, we scored a film about a year ago, I think it came out, called Chasing Valentine, and that was a weird experience too, because
it's like a full movie, no? Like
it's
okay.
a full film. It's
Yeah.
on Amazon Prime if you want to
Okay.
check it out. It's called Chasing Valentine, and we did the full score, complete to
Okay.
end. Movie's probably about an hour and a half or something like that. But getting a picture from somebody that has zero sound to it except for people talking, and then them in words trying to tell you the mood or vibe it's supposed to be and trying to translate that back to them, that was definitely challenging, but it was also really cool to see it all come together.
And also it's a fascinating process, no? Just to, you know, like give like shape to the sounds.
No, totally. And it took forever. I think we worked on it for almost a year probably of back and forth until we got it all dialed in to where he wanted it. But it's also somebody else's baby, so they have this vision in their head of exactly what it's going to sound like, and you have to kind of translate that. He was in Canada too, so still to this day, I've never met the director in person. It's all been emails and phone calls.
But you know, like you said, the director had a vision, and you guys translated the vision into sounds. No?
Yeah,
so
but that was a learning process for sure. Figuring out just the dialogue and the language of communication between the two things. You know, he's a visual guy and we're music guys, so the visual guy trying to explain in music terms didn't always come out the way we understood it, but we figured it out throughout the process.
Yeah.
You know.
And probably it's gonna be a gateway. Like if you enjoy doing that, so probably.
Oh man,
yeah.
I'd love to do another one. It definitely was time consuming, but it was rewarding too at the end, and it was such a different way to release music. The soundtrack went up on Spotify and all those types of outlets, but to create something that's basically a whole album and then see it on Amazon, you can stream it, and there's a whole film that plays to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's also besides the full you score the full movie, you also score for commercial and
Yeah,
that's how you make a living. No, also
that's pretty much what pays the bills.
Yeah.
Is doing that, and it's a freelance lifestyle, which is kind of scary sometimes. But the last few years, I've been lucky enough too that the more music that I'm putting out on records, there's been a lot more syncs where a song off a record will get licensed for something, like a film, like the Zion song Smoked was recently used in Showtime's original series The Shy, and that's always cool because that was a great placement. The show was awesome. It was something I thought was cool. It wasn't like it was in a McDonald's commercial or something that I felt weird about or something like that. So it's nice when there's a sync from a record and you don't have to compose it, but it's also cool when a client comes to you with an idea and you're able to turn in something that's cooler than the stock music they would have got from some site for $20. You know what I mean?
So how is the life of a producer, like in the studio? No? Like because you have like a home studio, so you are there, and it's you get inspired. How you compose? Like how is your process?
I work nights mostly.
Nice. Okay.
My girlfriend's a bartender, so she'll be gone all night. So it's just me and my French bulldog Apple hanging out at the house, which is awesome. And I'm constantly making things. Anytime I'm at home by myself, that's what I do. And I don't go out very often unless there's some friends in town playing a show or something I'm excited to go see. But I'm always making something, and then the people that I collaborate with, as often as somebody can come over and wants to work on something, I'll do that because it's fun having people come over and we can get things done. But it's lonely, and it's also rewarding, I guess. I enjoy it. I'm not a social light, and if I can have one person come over and we can make some rad shit, then I'm stoked.
Cool. Yeah, because definitely you are by yourself, and also at the same time you have to motivate yourself to keep
Yeah, totally.
stay on track, and
I think that's something that's just built in now. It
Okay.
used to be like I'd really have to be like, okay, I got to work from these hours to these hours. But I actually really enjoy it, and I get excited when I know I'm going to be at home by myself because I have ideas I want to try out, or I have something I started from a day before that I want to finish. So it's cool. I enjoy it, and there's a lot of trial and error, and you can fuck things up and no one's around. It doesn't matter. You can throw it away and start something else over. So it's a good creative process, I feel like.
you were mentioning before that you stopped using samples from other records, and actually you taught yourself how to play instruments to to replay these parts or make
So
original parts.
when I first figured out that you could sell music to TV and film and make a living this way, the next thing I found out was you can't have samples in anything because you don't own it, and it's expensive to clear. So I made it a point to, when I started making new music from there on out, even if I had a sample that I liked, I would use it to start something, but then I would pull it out and replay with that same instrument something different that I thought was cool, or how I would have done it if I were them. And I don't know how to play anything properly. I've gotten away with playing a lot of different instruments in bands, but I can learn things and I can make things up, and that's how I do stuff.
But that's all you need. I mean, you're not going to participate to a contest of like the best solo.
Yeah,
or
no.
like the
And if somebody
virtuoso.
wrote out chords for me, I would know a few of them, and then I'd have to Google the other two probably and figure it out. And I'd be good.
We got technology on our side.
Yeah,
so
totally.
We can
You can figure out
we can
anything
figure
pretty
out.
much.
Yeah. Cool. So you have a couple of instruments in your studio. You have like a. You work with like software. You have like an MPC.
A mixture of both. I use an MPC 2000 XL a lot, but I'll mix it with drums from Pro Tools, like Battery, a plugin that has some cool 808s. So I'll mash them together and use different parts for different parts of the songs. And I'll use a lot of software synths, but I also have some vintage synths. I have a Juno 106 that I like, and I recently got a Moog Sub 37. So a lot of analog synth bass sounds mixed with the
digital
software plugin stuff.
Yeah, I ask this because you probably your studio. I mean, you've been doing this for almost 20 years, so probably your studio evolved in time, but you still have some classic.
Yeah, I mean the MPC that I still use to this day is the first thing I ever bought.
Okay.
I bought it in Guitar Center in Bakersfield before I moved to San Francisco, and I still have it and I still use it, and it still operates off a zip drive with a SCSI cord.
Oh wow, I haven't heard about this in a long time.
Yeah,
the
so
zip drive.
I don't save things on that anymore. I'll sample into it, or I'll find an old drum sound that I liked and chop it up, and then I'll play it into Pro Tools, and then once I turn the machine off, it's deleted forever.
It still is part of the flux. No?
Yeah, totally. Just add some texture, and I know how to use that machine so well now, and it's comfortable to work on, and I still like the way it sounds. But it's cool to have the plugins too, because you can kind of make things sound more current and sonically better.
And also, like we gotta say that like technology helps. Like before we were mentioning, like you don't know the chord, you Google it. No, like you can save patterns. You can. It's faster. It's
Google or YouTube is amazing.
Or like using technology for music production.
I mean, you can learn anything on there. I was trying to figure out how to pull the brake calipers off my car a couple weeks ago, and I looked on YouTube, and there's a tutorial, and figured out I could do it myself.
Yeah, I mean, there is tutorial for many things, even we cannot mention here
on
the radio. So yeah, cool. You brought a couple of stuff that you produced like in the past year. Would you like to play something out of this? I mean, we cannot play cassette right now because. I mean, you got some Conrad the band. So you were mentioned there is.
Yeah, that's me and Matthew Shaw. We grew up together in Bakersfield, and
you guys are still collaborating to this.
Yeah, I mean, this record just came out last October, I think.
Okay.
And we have another one that's almost done, and it's completely different from the hip hop stuff. If you want to play something, we can find. You can cue it up off there.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Which song?
Let's see.
Yeah, also, to show. I mean, it's a whole universe of music or sound that you make. So
maybe track 4, One More Smoke.
All right. All right. So track 4.
Yeah, and this is
One More Smoke.
Conrad the band, and the album's called Valley Fever.
And you're listening to BFF.
Used to be warm winds, old friends and sunny days. Used to just drive around, windows down, and watch the day fade. One more smoke, one more smoke before the daylight. One more smoke before I give up on today. One more drink
So this was Conrad the band. You and Matthew Shaw.
Yep.
You guys are like since Bakersville to here, since still collaborating. Like you guys are
Yeah, totally. We both
still
grew up
working
in,
together.
in Bakersfield. When we graduated high school, we got our first apartment together. I think it lasted 3 months before we got evicted.
Okay.
Well, we got the choice. The landlord said, you can be evicted or you can leave. So we left. He ended up moving to Seattle. I moved to San Francisco. And we didn't start making music until we both lived in different cities. He was doing some singer-songwriter stuff. I had just bought that MPC I was telling you about, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it.
What to do with it, yeah.
So we started sending stuff back and forth and ended up doing a band called City Light. We did 2 records. One was self-released. Oh, no. One was on a label called Banter, and the other was on a label called Mush. Toured behind those records. And then we just got sick of making that kind of music. Just wasn't fun anymore.
Okay.
We didn't know what we were doing. We ended up working on a record for his uncle called Brother Paul. That's a blues record that we did the whole thing on. He's based out of Stockton. It's called Cadillac Pickup Truck. It's on Spotify if anybody wants to look it up. And through that process, we kind of got into this blues, weird rock world thing. And that was fun. So we started writing songs like that, but in a kind of a non-practical way. We would have blues rock guitars and weird synths going through pedals and then drum machines and samples and all kinds of stuff. And that's what we ended up with, was what you just heard.
And so the Conrad the band was born.
Yes.
Okay, what is name, Conrad the band?
Conrad is actually, we didn't know what to call this project, and Conrad is Matt's father's name.
Okay.
Who passed away when we were in high school, and we just started naming these tracks Conrad. We were trying to give it a fictitious kind of persona.
La persona, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
And we released one song, I think, under the name Conrad, and realized that there's about 8 other bands called Conrad.
Oh, yeah.
So we added the band just so that
to make it
you
unique.
could find us in Google searches.
Okay. And this is one of the Slept On Records release, no?
Yeah.
Let's spend a couple of minutes on Slept On Records. It's you guys co-founded, no? This.
Yeah. Like I said, me and Eric were making music together, and we would just each do a song, or we'd work on songs together, and we'd get our money together and press up a 45, and we started putting Slept On Records on it as the label.
Okay.
And those 45s, we would just sell them at Amoeba or wherever we could and hand them out to, we were both DJing around town a lot, so we had a lot of DJ friends, so we'd give them to our friends. And then when we started making the 12 inches, we actually got physical distribution through Revolver here in SF.
You brought 2 copies of the 12-inch.
Yeah, these are both.
Every man for himself.
They got to be 8 or 9 years old now. Hani El Khatib actually designed the artwork on that one.
Okay.
Way back in the day. But we got physical distribution, and we were able to sell them instead of driving around California to every record store we could find and sell 2 copies at a time.
Man, you know, it's you need to put an effort on. So
yeah,
it's
nobody's gonna do it for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
you know, I mean, at least at the beginning, no, when you.
Yeah, totally. I mean, even now, it's people recognize this stuff a little bit more, but back then it was harder too, because there wasn't all this internet way. There wasn't so much social media, you know. It was before MySpace, probably. Yeah. So for anyone to hear it, you had to go to where they were and give it to them. There was a ton of college radio at the time, and me and Eric would put together these road trips where we would drive all over California and Nevada and Arizona, wherever we could find
A college
a
station.
college station that had a hip hop show that would
Okay.
respond to us and invite us out. So we would drive there and do what me and you are doing right now, and just fund it from trying to get a DJ gig in that town that night to pay for gas.
To pay for gas.
Yeah. It was fun though. It was a good time.
It was another kind of touring, no, but more relaxed
Yeah.
than.
I mean,
everyone
we-
has tight schedule and just living,
Me and
you know.
Eric actually booked a European tour for, it was me, him, and our friend Khalil, who was a rapper under the name Nebulous, and we made it all the way out to Germany and London and Finland and God, I can't remember where else we went, but we did that all on our own just by
Okay.
doing research, reaching out to people. People booked us. We flew out there. The shows were awesome. We got paid. We sold a shit ton of merch and had a great time. I don't know if you could still do that these days, but
Yeah, I think you can still do that. It's a matter of like effort and trying to and working on that. No, like
yeah, it's you just
Buffer
gotta
time.
really want to do it, and
Yeah.
you can make it happen.
yeah, yeah. You know, I mean, before like the difference between like that time, no MySpace, no social media, and this time, current right now, there is like overload of social
Yeah, I
media.
mean, it's
and-
awesome because you can share everything with people and people can see it easier, but there's so much more of it now
Yeah.
because it's easier than what we were doing all the research and all that, you know. You can just put it out there and put some hashtags on it and people will come across it, but there's so much of it and there's tons of garbage you got to weed through, and
Yeah.
it's cheap and easy now, whereas before it was expensive and hard, so there wasn't a lot of people.
Yeah, but you know, I think even right now, if you wanna actually like reach your destination, like reach the target of your promotion, it's gonna be still expensive because you need to have somebody else doing the work for you.
Yeah, you can't do it on your own for sure. You got to have a publicist involved or some help, you know what I mean? Unless you're a marketing genius and you can just figure it out, which I can't. And that's a part of the music industry that I don't like doing. I'm terrible at self-promotion. It just makes me feel weird. If I can make it and hand it off to somebody else and they can deal with that for me and represent me in that fashion, it's so much stress taken off my shoulders.
Yeah, because you know, like we gotta say that. So working on music production, it's a lot of work because you know, like it's like, oh yeah, you put some instrument together and you mix it. Yeah, I mean, it's not like that.
I mean, I make the music, and then Matt has been a huge help to me with the mixing and mastering and stuff like that. We normally have a studio or somebody master everything, and we've been lucky enough a few times to get things mixed, but it's so expensive. Matt's actually really good at that, so that's been lucky for me that he helps me with that stuff. But if I had to do it all on my own, it'd sound like garbage probably. You got to have some help, or I do.
Yeah, or at least you're gonna learn from mistakes. So probably it sounds like garbage at the beginning, like a first release, and then you learn how to do it.
No,
you know?
totally. You know what it takes for it to get to where it needs to be, and you can either do that on your own, or you got to recruit some help for the spots you're lacking in.
Are you you listen to lots of music, or you just because sometimes there are people saying that when you write you shouldn't read, no, kind of.
What's that? When you do what now?
When you write
Uh-huh.
music, you shouldn't like listen to others because otherwise you get too influenced.
I mean, I listen to so much different music that I have to do. I'll get stuck otherwise. You know what I mean? I'll make the same thing over and over again if I'm not being influenced by something else, and it won't even necessarily be the same genre of music. You know, I've listened to weird hip hop songs that have influenced drum stuff on this Conrad the Band project, you know, just like sonically or tone, not even necessarily the rhythm or the notes, what they played, but a lot of times it's just kind of a mix sound or a sonic tone or a feedback thing that's rad or something, you know what I mean? And that'll end up somewhere else sometimes. You never know.
Because everything we listen, we kind of reprocess and.
Yeah, and I like that. Like if I get stuck, I like listening to what other people are doing. It's inspiring.
Yeah.
And if there's something I think is really cool, it excites me.
Is there something that you're listening on repeat these days?
Oh man, that's a hard one. I tend to find one song lately that I like a lot, and I'll listen to it over and over again. There's nothing that's like popping out right now, but it's been a long time, I think, since I've had a full record that wasn't like a friend of mine's or something that I had an emotional attachment to that I've been super pumped on. I listen to a lot of my friends' music, which I like. But yes, I can't think of anything that I've been super pumped on recently that wasn't something personal.
Okay. Yeah, I see. I mean,
I like a lot of old stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I recycle a lot of the same music over and over. I've probably been listening to the same stuff for 20 years with new things added in throughout the way. But all that music from 20 years ago that I was really stoked on, I still listen to a lot. If that.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. There is so much music out there, and probably like too many to mention.
I know there's a ton of rad shit that I'm missing. So if anyone out there has something, send it to me.
Yes. Let's listen to, actually, talking about collaboration with the Gift of Gab. You just, it was a recent one, no? Recent collaboration?
It was a track with Gift of Gab from Blackalicious that we did together, and he just dropped it on, we wanted to give it away for free and just put something out, so he put it up on his YouTube channel, I'd say 3 weeks ago or something, maybe a month ago.
Okay.
But that's the only place it lives, is there.
Okay, and we'll listen to it right now. Grasp It, Gift of Gab, produced by Nick Andre.
Out the book out style, I took out styles, I'm up out the good route now. When I doubt clowns could put out the good outbounds, a brother put out to you not. See what I found was like a peacock that you got. The outward loudness make your knee knock like Bebop. When I get down, all of your Reeboks will be stomping throughout the ground, and on them seas all will be falling. Astounded, frowning when I tee off, I be off in my own lounge area peons. I peon, we'll do this however you see options. Be out there, I hold ground and never flee. I'ma be out here holding it down. I'm on a roll lock with so lock, the way it roll off my tongue, yo, I just go off with victory bound to come. Oh, I don't know. I'll be doing this shit for fun. Blow out your whole outfit, just keeping it bro. I'll be out of nowhere. The sonic blow up, about to go up, side of your head and yell aloha. As I go out, but as I go out, I leave aromas of funky odors. Here's one to grow on. I'm such a show off. You don't have no option but to go out. Your mind and throw out. Them rappers whole albums. I'm a flow doc up in my co-op, making it so hot. I know not the figure flows out till it the wall out. We're done out. MCs are done out. They seem to run out and about. What me is about to be an announcement about them leaving up out and flinging the town. So come try the G. You're gon' lie beneath the ground for 1,000 seasons. I'm out here beating bumps out. They come round me with that mumbo and furious style. Another route, and please your gun out. It's leaking gunpowder. Come now, your shit is done now. I'm number one out. Rasp it. What you say? Rasp it. Rasp it. What you say? Rasp it. Relax, it's a rhythm attack, giving them that back. Slap little niggas with rap, living to smash it, thrash it, sending you back to get a bad pin and kick with your raps, cause nigga that shit you had spit, didn't you jack to advance this rap shit? This is a glance through your back, bitch. Class in session, in fact, do your math, kids. Raps like this more advanced than the past tense math. This is calculus class for advanced kids. Mind innovators and glass through your glass. Some advanced, spinning up in them ad-libs to chant that you can't ever seem to get past shit, but bam, here I am. Hear the silence of lamb, give you grand clear vision in your brain, enhance all parameters. Welcome to my planes, I master the plans, way past all your scams. Do as God commands. This rapture will capture actors that can't do rap for all like Gab the rap lord who had to smack y'all, leave massive fractures to assholes that cannot match these scandals. I'm vastly past y'all. My masterpiece actually that of catchers catching a fastball. This rap attacking combat will crack skulls. The aftermath is whack, crack and shambles. The back-to-back champ will clap your ass and will stamp the map, grab the cash, subject manuals. Facts to facts, raps are that advanced man. The massive spaz, master spaz in black man. I rap raps to flatten cats that can't stand my passion for gabbing abstract advanced enhancement. From here to Aspen, go get some aspirin. Your mental has just been smashed. What you say? What you say? What you say?
And this was Grasp It, the Gift of Gab from Black Alicious, produced by Nick Andre. Yeah, even this one, no, this production, it's not like exactly, it's more like crossover, like sounding. No, it's not like.
It's a little dark, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. That's just kind of what I thought sounded cool, and I made it and sent it to Gift of Gab, and then he had an idea for it and came over and recorded it at the house.
Cool. That's how you make music. No?
Yeah.
Yeah. You get inspired. What are we playing next?
We're going to play something off of a 12-inch that me and Ida Boss put out. This was our first 12-inch we did, and this song features Picasso from Living Legends, and it's called Don't Sleep.
And it's going to be right here. BFF.FM, Espresso Sesh, Nick Andre in the room. 3, 2, 1.
No, not to what the people say. These sounds leads the way. It's the order of the day from your boss DJ.
Hey, man, hey, just. I ain't never heard it. Get your ass out, cut. What you talking about, dude? No.
Look, I am not a sofa or a couch. Pull out bed, king or queen, box spring, futon with new sheets. You can't sleep on there. I see you miss sometimes. Best to get it straight. We innovate and make dumb rhymes. I am not a sofa or a couch. Pull out bed, king or queen, box spring, futon with new sheets. You can't sleep on there. I see you miss sometimes. Best to get it straight. We innovate and make dumb rhymes. Fit. You can't sleep on there. Sing it down, break it down, make it sound rough. These making clowns take a found styling them buzz. They wasn't recognizing that it belonged to us. West Coast blessing, we done started so much. Sweet in the clutch, that's what's up. What? Go clean your ears cause you gon' hear some stuff. This goes out to those not knowing why they sleeping on hush. Blackballing, we ain't stalling out when we roll tough. I said I seen you, man, I seen enough. But I ain't heard that much. Better catch these words and touch base up. I am not a sofa or a couch. Pull out bed, king or queen, box spring, futon with new sheets. You can't sleep on there. I see you miss sometimes. Best to get it straight. We innovate and make dumb rhymes. I am not a sofa or a couch. Pull out bed, king or queen, box spring, futon with new sheets. You can't sleep on there. I see you miss sometimes. Best to get it straight. We innovate and make dumb rhymes.
No, not to what the people say.
Mama always told me there'd be folks like you, niggas that know what we do, then ignore the whole crew. Like the legends wasn't making waves. Couldn't find a rap page. Put me in the next 100 and make me wonder did the days go by? Who be blazing the light? It's these fools that be forgetting when they pay them to write. That's wrong. I know you like the song and it stayed hype. Got your girl on the tour bus, blazing a mic like wow. But I ain't sure of us. Cats is acting nervous. Knowing it's few and far between them seas that can serve us. I respect the ones that know but act like where they came from. Give me that and let them know they ain't beating the same drum. Save some of the rest that keep you stressed out. You play dumb in the nest, they best to head south. In this together till they fair weather friendships is fake. No look handshakes is late with their business. Damn.
It's the order of the day from your boss DJ.
I am not a sofa or a couch. Pull out bed, king or queen, box spring, futon with new sheets. You can't sleep on there. I see you miss sometimes. Best to get it straight. We innovate and make dumb rhymes. I am not a sofa or a couch. Pull out bed, king or queen, box spring, futon with new sheets. You can't sleep on there. I see you miss sometimes. Best to get it straight. We innovate and make dumb rhymes. Fit. Dumping on something to make you think.
What's his name?
Picasso, my cousin, so don't blink. Legendary fame, bringing it with me, the whole thing. Paint your mama's portrait in pure pink. Paisleys, amazing. Go fresh and blazing. Fools that stay grazing on grass. Moves made. If you asking, we passing you up. Who's late? It's a class that I teach. 2 days out the week. Thursdays and Tuesdays. If you ask me, I'll speak. Might be beneficial for you if your ass hella weak. We break it down to the beats and the flows in my program. Honestly, I let my students be the judge of your pros. Put their ears to the street so they know you're a heat when it's heard. If you sleep, best to peep so you learn that. I am not a sofa or a couch. Pull out bed, king or queen, box spring, futon with new sheets. You can't sleep on this.
Don't Sleep on Slept on Records. Alright, Nick Andre and Ida Boss. It's a while ago. There was the first 12-inch.
First 12-inch, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what year that came out in. I can't remember, and we
Maybe-
probably didn't put it on the record.
Probably. Okay, I was about to say, like,
I think we were
can
trying to-
check it out.
I think we were trying to keep things timeless at that time.
Okay.
We didn't want to stamp it. It's got to be at least 10 years old, though, because it's on the catalog mixtape, which just turned 10, so we must have done it before then, I believe. But yeah, I was telling you why that was playing. I was just talking to Picasso recently, and I found out that when he recorded that song for us, he had no idea that the label was called Slept on Records, and it ended up kind of becoming an anthem for us, which is awesome.
Because, like we were saying before, there is a saying, no? Oh, I slept on this release.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so, you got the...
Yeah,
you
the
got
coincidence, though, is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I thought for sure he knew, and he wrote it because of the name of the label, but had nothing to do with it.
And nothing to do with it. Cool. And this is actually... So the catalog is it's like a mixtape.
It's a mixtape of all of our stuff that we had released up to that point and a bunch of original beats that we had never released. We gave it to DJ Plattern, and he did a really awesome job making a mixtape out of it. It'd been released digital only, and I think we'd done some slimline CDs or something back in the day, but it turned 10 years old last year, so we made an actual physical
Actually,
cassette tape
2
out of
years
it.
ago, like it's 2016.
Oh, shit. 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. So it's 12 years old.
12 years old.
Time, like go by.
Yeah.
All the, like, doesn't never stop.
I still got a couple of those things laying around, but no, I was stoked just to make a cassette tape, and it was a mixtape, so it always belonged on there. We finally got around to doing it.
Cool. And are you guys still collaborating with...
Who, me and E?
Yeah?
Actually, I just got some stems from him and Trailer that he's in the Pendletons with. Trailer posted something on Instagram, I believe, and it was a clip of a song. And I hit him up and I was like, hey man, what is this? It had a cool vocal hook on it. And he said it was something that they'd made like 5 years ago. So he just sent it to me last week, and I'm going to use it for something if they don't, because it's awesome. So we're collaborating in strange ways still. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That make me another question. Brings me another question. So what are you working these days? Are you working on new production?
I mean, I'm always...
What's cooking in your lab?
There's as many things as I can get my hands in. I'm always making stuff, whether it's for nothing, for me, for somebody else. So right now I'm working on... Me and Lateef did a ton of stuff together. I think is a full record done. I'm working on some new stuff with Zion I. I've been working with Gift of Gab on some stuff, and those are all for their projects. And then I just had Picasso back over, and I'm trying to do a couple things with him for my stuff, and try to get some other collaborators on there as well. Maybe some people I haven't worked with, but I'm enjoying all the people I'm working with right now and stoked on the work that we're doing.
So you kind of have like a second epiphany these days, no? Like you are very excited, like again, to put out music and.
Yeah, absolutely, and I kind of found a lane that I enjoy after all these years of trying to figure out how to do it and what I was supposed to do, and I wanted to do all the other things I did. I wanted to go on tour and experience all that, and once I did it, I was like, oh man, I'm not really making any money. Like, how can I sustain this and still do music? And I think after all these years, I found a zone that I'm stoked in. I like the position I'm in right now.
Cool.
And I'm really grateful to have music on other people's records too, because that's a cool whole other outlet that gets
also
somewhere else, you know.
It's a good way to spread like your name, no? Like to
yeah, totally. It's cast a wider web than just me doing my own thing all the time, you know. A lot more people are going to hear stuff that I've worked on this way.
You have any release planned for the early future?
I have another set of
singles?
singles coming out. I haven't set a release date yet. They're still working these ones right now, so I'll talk to publicist about when the next best date is, but I'm hoping probably in a month to month and a half I'll put 2 more out. I've got about 8 songs that are done with different people on them. I haven't decided which two to use yet. So I'm just kind of seeing how Guns and LA's on Fire do, and then I'll pull 2 more and put those out in about a month and a half.
This sounds like this time you have a more like a strategy for the release, no? Like
yeah, I mean, and it's a weird strategy. People don't usually put 2 singles out the same day that are totally different and non-related. So that was something I wanted to try, and it so far so good. And it's kind of cool because they're totally different and the same at the same time, but they were able to be premiered on 2 different outlets on the same day, which I don't think I could have done if it was the same feature on both songs, you know, even though Hani's on both, but it had different people. So that was kind of a risk, but it seems to be working out, and the 2 songs are going different places. It's kind of like putting out songs on other people's records almost, you know. It's each one has its own audience, which is cool.
Cool. Yeah, and also they are different, like sonically. No, they are
exactly
different genres, so they can go like in separate ways.
Yeah, I mean, there might be someone that loves Guns and does not understand what's going on with LA's on Fire, and vice versa.
Yeah, but you know, we make music, so
yeah. I mean,
we don't care. Like
I liked it, and I wanted to share it, so that's what I did.
Cool. So here it is. This plexiglass.
That's
another Conrad, the band.
This is like I said, this is before we had the band added on there.
So just Conrad.
Just Conrad. And this was a song. It's one song on a flexi disc that never got a proper release. A friend of Matt's had opened a brewery in Bakersfield, and me and Matt had just started this project, and he wanted our old band to come play there for their grand opening. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. And so we figured out that we could bill it as this new project and play a mix of the old songs and new songs, see what happens. So in exchange, the brewery made these flexi disc for us, and they were supposed to be for that grand opening show. They didn't make it back in time. They came about 3 days after the event had happened, so it never got released. It's a cool product. I still like it, but there's a box of them just sitting in my garage.
Yeah, 3. It's like a limited.
Yeah, we did 250 of them. They're all hand numbered. That's number 3. It looks like.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, 250.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Also format like the flexi disc.
Yeah, me and Eric actually slept on released quite a few flexi discs. I think we did 4 or 5.
Okay.
The first one was a song called Nobody Knows featuring Ryan Green. I don't even have a copy of it myself anymore. Hopefully Eric still has one for me somewhere. But that was a really cool, weird funk kind of break song, and our friend Ryan Green sang on it. And that thing got played all over. We made them and gave them out to DJs around town.
Okay.
And it ended up getting played. Everyone was asking for them. I think the only place that ever sold them was maybe Eric dropped some off at Groove Merchant. I'm not 100% sure though, but they're gone. And then I think he either did an Ida Boss one or Pendleton's one. I can't remember, but it's a cool format and it sounds amazing. I never would have thought that little piece of plastic would sound so good. Yeah.
Yeah, let's play it. I'm very curious.
Go for it.
I did a lot late, like Lathe. How you say this?
What are you trying to say?
Like a pressing.
Oh, lathe.
Lathe. Yeah. It doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so it's just one side, huh?
Just one side, yeah. And I think it's 45. Yeah, it says right there.
RPM, yeah.
Let's see.
45. All right, let's do this. Cora, the punk band.
Yeah.
From 2015. You got some static here.
Part of the vibe.
Yeah. and there was punk band Conrad, the band. Another example of your let's say sonic palette.
Yeah,
Yeah?
that one's that was the first direction for Conrad the band. It was going to be more electronic and stuff, and then it turned into kind of a bluesy rock thing. I don't know why, but that's where it went.
Yeah, I mean it goes, no,
Yeah.
like creativity goes that way. So
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, let it go, let it go. So Nick, what's the best way to follow your music up in the?
I'm on
in the-
SoundCloud, and you can find me on Spotify, just Nick Andre. I'm on Instagram at Nick Andre Official, and Twitter at Slept On Andre. You can follow those for updates of things to come.
Yeah, because you're gonna have some new singles coming out.
Yeah,
soon,
and I'll
yeah.
keep you posted, and would love to come back and
Yes.
talk again.
Please. And we're gonna close the show today with the demonstration
Yep,
mixtape.
this is a mix of beats that me and Eric Eatabos did. I don't know how long ago, and it's for some reason on my SoundCloud page. We never put it out. I didn't realize it was on there until just a few days ago. So
Okay.
don't judge us.
It's okay. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me so much. I had a great time.
Thank you for being here. Like, keep going, keep doing music, please, and keep us posted.
I will, for sure. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Nick Andre, here, BFF.fm, Espresso Sesh. Let's close the show with demonstration. Nick Andre and E the Boss.
Soul Brother, with a special bulletin for all Super Soul brothers and sisters. Be on the lookout for drug pushers, dope fiends, smack addicts, coke snorters, banana smokers, pill poppers, and goofball hoppers, glue sniffers, and roach whiffers, freaks on speed, and the evil weed, uppers and downers, and spaced out browners, trip takers, and brownie bakers.